Hello, everybody. Hope all is well with you all this week. On our How To Corner this week, we're going to talk about something that I thought was a little bit probably good as far as like the new grads that are coming out. I know we're always talking about how they help patients, and I think that this time of the year is perfect time to be able to help some of the students. So, if you're a student and that's what brought you here, thank you for coming. One, but two, if you're new here, like, subscribe, share, and also hop in the comments and ask questions because any questions that you may have I may be able to answer because this is a super important topic. Today's topic is called Unlocking Success. Basically, how to master the art of negotiating your salary as a new grad PT. By me, I'm Dr. Will Gray. Yes, I'm a DPT. And one of the things that I struggled with when I was in PT school before I transitioned to what I do now, which is I have my own clinic, was when I came out, people told me what I was supposed to make. And basically, what I ended up doing and what I ended up making was totally different. So, as a result of doing so, I just had a conversation with a couple of students recently, and they were asking me questions about, hey, man, like, what do I ask in the interview? How do I, get the money I want? Like, what's some questions that I should actually ask myself? And I was like, hey, man, this would be a good topic to share with people who are new grads who are looking for this information. And then kind of sort of, going from there and building on it, maybe creating a community for you guys that you all can reach out to me and basically ask me questions that you may have, concerning that same thing too. So, in short, for everybody who's here, please take time once again, like, share, and subscribe. And we're about to get started. Okay, so the highlight of today's talk is basically three things you must ask yourself or you must know about yourself when you're thinking about your job that you want to have, right? So, first is location. Where do you want to work, right? Next is your value. And then three is the setting. Now, those three particular pillars are the pillars we're going to build everything on. And it becomes individual as far as when we're discussing a person. So if you have some, specific questions, then that's what the comments are for. But those are the pillars we're going to start with, right? Now, let's move on to the steps that I mentioned earlier about the pillars, right? That you need to really, really get into. So, location, where's the clinic or place you want to work located? Right? What's the city, region of country? Is it rural? Is it urban? Those things are crazy, crazy like important. And I know you hear the basis like, well, if it's in a big city, I'm not gonna get paid this much. That's BS. Um, some people say that, if it's in this part of the country or that part of the country, not get paid much. That's BS too. Like there's moments where some of that holds true, but for the most part, it doesn't. It's really about the need as well as where you are as far as like, the other steps I'm going to talk about later in this presentation. So the city, I'm going to give you a quick example. If you're a person and you're working in the Dallas Fort Worth area, right? You're working for an outpatient ortho clinic, right? Most of the time, they're going to try to hit you with a number that's not great, maybe 65 a year. I know, sounds crazy, but they're trying to make money. If you take it, that's your fault. And they will definitely sell you that. So as a result, you have to be willing to walk away. Now, with that being the region of the country, we're in the basically the southeast, just from where Texas is located in a sense. Or you can call it the Midwest, whatever. I'm cool with it. But being in that region of the country, there's a lot of things that go on in that region of the country. There's pro teams, there's some of the best healthcare systems, So they have a lot of people who want to probably be there, right? So as a result, like I said earlier, sometimes it holds true, but there's also places that people do not want to work in those parts of the country, and it's not because it's a terrible place to work. It's just not the setting they want to be in, right? So, and then it being rural or urban, one of the things that I found pretty consistent, rural or urban, it's really about, where kind of where you're at. And what I mean by that, in my state where I'm from, Mississippi, urban for us is not really urban. It's kind of a mix of rural and urban. Like you have a big city like Vicksburg, for example. It's a big city, a lot of people there, a lot of industries there, whatever, but it's very, very rural, although it's an urban spot, based on our standards in this state. And as a result, that matters, right? So your location. Where is the clinical place you want to work located? Your value. How do you determine your value? Why should they pay you what you want? Why? Because you want it? No, sorry, no. I remember a VP telling me a long time ago of an actual clinical, setting or a company. We were having a business talk. He said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna say these things. Don't tell your classmates." Dead serious. This is a true story. I want to do this thing for you, and I'm explaining to you why. And he explained to me why. Gave me a great offer. Great guy. And actually, it helped me understand my value. Actually, so experience during your clinical rotation is important. For any professor that tells you a clinical rotation is not important, you're just getting a grade, I hate to break it to you, they failed you. They did. Your actual, experience in your clinical rotation is your job experience. I repeat, it's your job experience. You can use it to leverage your actual offer. You can use it to add to your value. So if you just took one of those clinical rotations to get or a whatever, and because it was close to home, it saved you money. If it worked out for you, you got what you want, great. If it didn't work out for you, that's why it didn't work out for you. You were not strategic in your approach, or maybe you were strategic and you didn't know how to leverage it. Like, what do I make out of my rotation that I had? Is there things that I did that were of note? Was I in a specific rotation that was kind of cool? Right? School attended. I put that as a question because in certain places it does matter. It just does, to an extent, in my opinion. I think there's a big need for PTs, obviously, but sometimes the training at different places is not good, and you see that a lot. I'm not going to really get into the places because that's a whole another topic for a whole another time. And I'll have to do a little more research now because I'm kind of a little bit removed. But at one point in time, I had a very good understanding of what institutions are good, what are mediocre, just different things. So, school attended, does that add to your value? Possibly. If you ask enough people, you'll know if it's valuable that you went to that school. And then the other piece is the types of settings you were a part of, right? Doing your rotation. Was it a pro level experience that you had? Right, really, were you in an actual professional NFL, Major League Baseball, hockey, Dallas Wings, Olympic? Like you work with Olympic level athletes. Like, are those the settings you were in or a part of? All right, and then and then also like, was it a top level setting too? Like not just pro, but like one of the best neuro places in the country. If you did a clinical rotation with one of the best neuro places in the country, you wanted to work and you want to work neuro, I guarantee you will get offered more money and be expected to be able to do more than your classmates, but you'll get what you want as far as your value being lifted. Just I'm dead serious. I'm promise you it will work. Like, and I'm not selling like, hey, surprise. No, dead serious. Like it will work. Like if you are trying to work in a neuro setting, you did a rotation at one of the top clinical neuro settings in the country or southeast or Pacific Northwest, whatever you were located, it will work to add to your value. Now, the last piece of the puzzle, man. This is the biggest piece of the puzzle, in my opinion, because every setting has a way they pay people, and every setting has a ceiling as far as what they want to pay a person that starts, right? And it's one something I put here. Something I hadn't put here. I'm gonna say that later. I'm gonna make a note of it to discuss, but not in this one. What setting do you really want to work? Is it acute? Hospitals, acute cares, pretty common places. People in hospitals 3 to 5 days, they go home, right? Nursing homes slash SNF, skilled nursing facilities, orthopedic sports medicine setting. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to work with the athlete, which is cool. I mean, I love it. I've done it before. I'm doing it now, so it's awesome. But not everybody's gonna be able to work there. And then the neuro setting, right? Neurological hospitals, extended hospitals. And I left a couple places out like long-term acute cares or LTACs. And, you know, also, some home health, right? As well as travel, which I may add to this, but for not for the moment, Remember those. So I'm gonna talk about those real quick. Acute care. Acute care is very quick. Basically, is very limited in what you can do. You're just trying to get people to the house. So in those settings, whatever, it tends to be a bigger staff for the most part, unless you go to a place that actually has a hospital that's rural that only have a handful of people and they really need somebody there. The sign-on bonus would be great. You'll be able to actually you negotiate your contract where it'd be a lot, better for you individually, but your work will be a lot, probably more too. I actually like acute cares. If you understand what it is and what to do within acute care, you won't get burnt out. You'll just get into a place of being a hamster wheel where it's really repetitive. But acute care is just what it is. It's very acute, short time settings. So you can make a lot of money in those settings and you can make a little money in those settings. It just really depends on the size of the staff, right? And where it's located. Like I talked about earlier, location is very important. Also, in addition to this, you have nursing homes, skilled nursing facilities. Whew, this setting is tricky. If you're asking me, I've been in this setting, I've seen it. There's a lot of quote unquote, variability in pay, and burnout in that setting is real. I mean, it's just a lot. Can you really make the living you want to make? Sure. The demographic is a little bit different. So you like geriatrics, great. But this setting, you can really like make a lot of money as far as trying to negotiate your contract because people don't always work there. But some people work there forever. And then in addition to this, it's a very setting that can really burn you out. And I can talk about that later in a different thing, but that setting has a lot of variability in pay. Ortho is probably the hardest setting to get the number you want, period. It just is. It's hard. Have I seen it done? Sure, I did it. I actually did it. I started out in an actual ortho outpatient setting to start with. So, but I had different things attached to it. So anyway, ortho is like the barren wastelands or the badlands of PT world. You want to work with athletes? You want to work with people who actually are pretty good already, walking around, maybe post surgery, those really those tummy johns and all that stuff. Ortho, yeah, you can work there. It's gonna be hard to get them to pay you what you want, but the location is important. And your value is important. I can tell you how to do it. Hard to do, but the right mix, you can get what you want. Neuro, just what it is, man. Like neuro, like requires a real skill in the sense of every stroke. You can set them up and walk them and all that stuff and get them moving quick. And that's a good basis, but not a lot of people want to do that because it does require a certain level of skill to do neuro, in my opinion. It does because like every case is really different, like very different. I had a person, I had a young lady who was about 25, I want to say, um, had some drug usage going on and wrecked her car, and had a terrible injury. Where basically broke her neck, broke her pelvis on both sides, broke her leg. Like I mean, was terrible. Was sedated for like a month or something. Very interesting case in neuro. Never thought she'd walk again. Guess what? Got her back to walking. She had discharge. She was super happy, came back and visited. Like life went on. Actually cleaned herself up, from what I understood, for a long time. So I haven't heard it from her since, but that was a great instance. That is a great experience. I'm sorry. And as a result, that gets you paid if you just have that type of actual skill. Neuro. LTAC, same thing. All right, similar to Roy, in my opinion. The sickest of the sick, they're sick. They're on death's door knocking. So as a result, if you can get them to get out of there, it makes the hospital look great. Like it's just so much to be, offered there. So as a result, if you get that type of position and you're really good at what you do, you can get paid there too. And then the other places I mentioned, the home health definitely can get paid there. Home health's a little bit tricky. It's a lot of driving and stuff going on. So I mean, you're your own boss and out of school. They don't really like new grads, but you can get it done. You just got to get out your mind like if they won't hire me. They won't. That's not true. Like, and people who do that, like they are really selling themselves short. Like, don't do that. Find the area that you need to get into in order to be able to work in that home health setting, do it, go from there. And then you can always, move around in 6 months. And the last piece of the puzzle, right? Travel. I think travel is really cool. Make a lot of money, go travel over to different places, and be able to make, a lot of money in a short period of time, and then go do what you want to do, right? Travel's not for everybody though, but definitely a good way to go. I've had experiences with traveling for a little bit, like maybe like a few months, nothing crazy. It was cool, but I've been everywhere, man. Like I've traveled everywhere. I've been there, done that. Like, so for me, it wasn't exciting setting for me, but the money is lucrative for sure. But some of those travel assignments are crappy, So, but you can negotiate a really good, quote unquote salary out of that too, or hourly rate, and that will help you. So, once again, to just review, guys, the location, your value, and the setting are the three things that you need to ask or know about yourself before you even get to the interview. You need to know this. And as a result of knowing these things, man, like that changes everything for you. It just does. And I'm a person that actually do this, you know, and allow them to I'm a person that does this for people and allow them to kind of take the stress off, which is teach you how to be able to actually negotiate that actual number you want. And if you can even get to it and let you know that you can't because this is what limiting you and this is how you can move this to this number here, and how you can kind of get it a different way possibly. Or maybe you have to start 2 months in or and 3 months in and then do it a different like do it another ways. But we can really get there. Right. So first of all, man, everybody, thank you for actually pressing play. I did this in one take because I was so excited to do it. I literally knew what I was going to talk about. And if you want more, like, share, subscribe, hop in the comments, ask questions. And if you want to contact us, look in the description. In the description, we'll have our where you can contact us concerning what about this. And man, I hope all you new grads reach what you're trying to reach, man. I love what I do for a living, and you will be in a spaces where you have people who don't love it, and you will have to find your space within it. But with that being said, everyone, have a blessed one, and I'll catch you in the next one.